Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update and happy Halloween. So this week's numbers are interesting. Technically inventory is down, so this is going to be a big conversation this week. So looking at our numbers, in Georgetown we had 9 sales, which is actually a normal-ish week. It's not high, but it's definitely not as low as we have been seeing. We had 14 new listings in Georgetown, so still the number of houses coming on the market is higher than the number of houses selling, which means inventory should be up. We'll get to that. Acton this week had no sales, which is interesting. I've talked about how Acton generally slows down when Georgetown gets a ton of inventory. So here we are. Acton had no sales last week, and there was 1 new listing there. Same in Glen Williams, no sales. Oh no, there was 2 new listings in Glen Williams last week, I lied. So no sales in Glen Williams, 2 new listings. Limehouse saw 1 sale and no new listings, and the rural market had 2 sales, but 5 new listings. So technically, according to these numbers, our inventory should be up. But like I've been doing when the market sort of shifts, I took a look at properties that came off the market, relisted higher, relisted lower, just relisted. And the conversation this week is definitely around the properties coming off of the market. And we started to feel this time last year where the market was so bad that a lot of sellers just completely took their homes off the market. So this week we had 28 properties that were in the terminated, suspended, expired status. And when I looked at those, of the 29, 17 of them came off the market and did not re-enter. So that is a very high number, and it actually made our inventory drop this week. Of note, within that 17, only 2 of them were under $1 million. So we've been talking about how that million plus inventory level is sitting extremely high. A lot of people are just coming off the market because they're not getting anywhere near the price that they thought they were going to get. So lots of people coming off the market. Other notables is 7 people dropped their price. They relisted at a lower price. 1 person tried they went up in price because bidding wars aren't working. And then this week, 3 properties just relisted at the same price they were listed at to freshen up their listing. So again, huge amount of people coming off the market, which leads us into active inventory. So last week we were at 230 active listings. This week we're actually down to 225, which is not what I was expecting. I mean, technically, if we follow the numbers of sales versus new listings, we should be up. But just, again, people coming off really skewed these numbers. So 230, we're down to 225. Maybe our inventory is going down right now. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that, but it is down this week. Georgetown is down from 143 to 138 active listings. That feels better than 143, that's for sure, but 138 is still extremely high, and we are still not seeing, in comparison to how many properties we have available, still not seeing enough sales. Looking at our price points, so this is where we're gonna see that shift in properties that came off the market. So under 800,000 in Georgetown went from 15 to 18 active listings. So a lot available, and there are a ton of condo townhomes available right now. Those properties are still sitting extremely high. They're, for some reason, just not, the list prices are not coming down. We haven't had a ton of sales in that pocket to kind of show that buyers are, want, that the prices are coming down on those. But realistically, they are gonna have to come down. They're sitting way too high. You can get a detached property for 800,000. Why on earth would you buy a condo townhouse at 750? It's just not gonna happen. So I'm expecting that price point to start to feel the pinch now that inventory is getting higher and higher. 800 to $1 million went from 31 to 33, insanely high for this price point. Also, this is our price point that continues to move really well, but lots coming up, and a lot of people in that million plus are now there's a lot of properties at $999 right now, so that's kind of a shift. So now 1 to 1.5 million went from 62 down to 57 active listings. So I talked about how those million pluses are coming off the market. This showed here, 62 down to 57. And then our 1.5 million plus, last week I went on this rant about who on earth would buy these properties at these prices? And it went from 35 to 30 active listings. So we saw a spike in inventory under $1 million, and our inventory above $1 million dropped because we just had so many people being like, no, I'm just gonna not do this right now because my home value has dropped so significantly. So that's just a really interesting note for this week. Acton is down from 29 to 28 active listings, but still sitting quite high. Glen Williams is up to 11. That is a very high number for the Glen. Lots of overpriced properties in the Glen as well. Limehouse is down from 3 to 2 active listings. So, I mean, we never really have a ton there, so just 2. And the rural market remained the same at 46 active listings this week. Again, we had a couple of those higher price point ones come off the market. So 46 active listings there, still sitting very high. So despite the fact that inventory is technically down, all of these numbers, except for, I guess, Limehouse, are extremely high. I'm gonna have October's official numbers next week, and I don't think they're gonna be pretty. The biggest thing is we haven't seen a ton of sales in general, so it'll just be interesting to see where October's numbers lie. For now this week, the silver lining is that our inventory technically went down, but it only went down because people are like, no, I'm just gonna hard pass on this market right now and we'll try again in the spring. And that's sort of what I think a lot of people are doing, because unless you need to sell your house right now, there are not a lot of buyers willing to pay you a price that sellers think their house is worth. So I will be back next Tuesday. Have a great Halloween, everyone.